we're trimming horses' feet, we are utilizing a completely different perspective from the one which we utilize when we're not trimming feet, aka when we're standing on the ground next to the horse, with the horse driving, horse riding, horse, or whatever. So for all intents and purposes, trimming the bottom of a horse's foot is like biting your nails, but doing that between your legs. Bend over between your legs, biting your nails, and then going like this, going, well, that's not what I had in mind. And the same thing happens with horses' feet all the time, and people oftentimes say the horse has got bad feet, and in actual fact, in the immortal words of Jessica Rabbit, you can just say, not really bad, I'm just drawn that way. And so if we utilize a different perspective while we're trimming the horse's feet, then we might get a different result. And so rather than just blatantly just going along and just carving down the wall because we have purchased with the nippers, and then we've kind of figure out what our own personal idea of balance is, the hoof shape and what that should be, and how short a toe should be, and how high the quarters should be, and how long or short the heels should be, and or high or low the heels ought to be. What I've done is I've created a series of benchmarks, or identified a series of benchmarks. The horse has created it. But I've identified a series of benchmarks that, for all intents and purposes, are wrinkles, ripples, waves, breakout points in a horse's foot. And they're all predicated on the fact that hoof is like water, and it will do whatever it takes to seek its own level. It will chip, it will crack, it will bend, it will break, it will peel, it will flake, it will crumble, it will decay, it will split, it will splinter, it will tear, it will explode, it will rot, it will do all of the above in order to try and find its own level, and sometimes the results aren't particularly pretty. And in this particular case, what's happened is there's been some distortion. It's not uncommon on a Clyde horse to have a flare to the outside. The cow hawkness, the sickle hawkness of the breed tends to be a huge contributor to that. And in this particular instance, I've managed to get 3 out of 4 feet to where I want them. This is about the 4th go round on this one, so we're going to bring this back. This horse had absolutely no inside quarters when we started, and the flares were classic. So now it's just a matter of visualizing our planes, and in order for me to do that, I just set down a series of notches on the hoof, all of which are parallel to the navicular, or to the bulbs of the heels, which are parallel to the navicular bone. And this enables me to create a plane on the bottom of the hoof that is parallel and in line with the articulation of the rest of the limb. The notches that I put down on either side of the frog, down the collateral sulci are indicative of the limb line, and we can identify the center of the limb line, and we can also identify the vertical of the outside of the limb, and where that is in relationship to the wall. And so what it does is allows me to put the handle back in the middle of the bell, and I'm going to show you how we do this in a very brief piece of video here. I start trimming by filing notches into the hoof that indicate the benchmarks that I'm going to use in order to find the symmetry within the hoof. As I nip along from one notch to another, I am now revealing a pretty symmetrical shape in this hoof, and it's all on a nice flat plane that I could shoe. But however, this mare is going to be barefoot, so I'm going to take and bevel the edge, and I'm going to nip off the outer crust. So we're going to nip back to the unpigmented layer of the wall, where in that transition, and take down that bar that was folded over and flopped over a little bit because it was quite strong and high, and we really need to take out a significant portion of that quarter. Here I am pulling the width out of that quarter and making the bottom of that flare concentric to the coronary band. The quarters are, and the heels are, in fact, too strong, and this is what's causing the distortion. So we're going to take that down, relieve that. When I put the foot down, I can now see there's what the outside looks like, I see there's a little hollow spot. I can address that from underneath now. I can flatten up the ground surface, and now I get a chance to clean up the bars a little bit, clean up the frog, take some of the excess pressure. This mare's going to load pretty hard on the bars. I take that hook out of that outside heel, dress that point on that outside toe, and this is the finished product. Not a lot of filing, smooth as a baby's bum, sweet as can be. I love my Heller rasps.